the Joseph Apartment Talk Show. Sorry to interrupt, gentlemen. A lot of Dodger talk going on here this morning.
You mean grief?
A lot of grief going on. I just want to welcome all of you, and we have a lot of voices, so I will go fast. Our first guest is Richard from Farmers. What's going on, Richard? Talk to my friends.
Good morning, everybody. Happy last quarter of the year. Things are going to be different, but change is coming. But as far as apartment owners, make sure that you get somebody you can trust. Replacement costs, tenants' rights, all of these things are coming up with lawsuits. It's a good idea to sit down and talk to somebody and make sure you've got, you've all heard of CYA? Cover your ass.
Cover your assets.
Assets. Cover your assets.
It's a family show, Richard.
Anyway, if you need help or you need assistance, call us.
How do we get a hold of you, Richard?
I'm sorry?
Your phone number?
714-522-0081.
Thank you. Ken Earl, what's going on in this season for maintenance of property?
First of all, good morning. My recommendation to apartment owners, homeowners is it's that time of year where we're going to be hit with some precipitation, some rain. So make sure your gutters are clean. If not, your gutters back up, you wind up with rot in your eaves. I write it up all the time. So that would be my star recommendation for this month before we get pounded with all the rain. So.
And Ken, you're available for my apartment owners to hire you to go take a look at their property, analyze it, and give recommendations?
Yes, and the more units you have, the best way to say it is the cheaper the price gets.
Ken, how do they get a hold of you for that?
Okay, my direct number is 562-818-0392.
Richard has you covered for insurance. Ken has you covered for the apartment, the condition. And if you want to sell without paying Uncle Sam or Jerry Brown, Phil is the man. Anything going on in the exchange world that you can share?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. There's a lot of, I got to just be really frank with you on this one. There's a lot of people thinking that you could bend the rules on the 45-day identification period. Why? Because they really have tried very hard to meet their deadlines to find the replacement property, or frankly, they just didn't take it seriously enough and now are desperately trying to find something.
So Phil, hold on a second. You sell your apartment building, you have
Right.
45 days to identify it.
Once the sale closes,
Once the sale closes, you have 45 days to identify
By
your
the replacement
property.
that's right.
And then 180 days
to
from-
close
from-
the asset.
from close of the escrow.
Yes,
So you're talking about that 45 days.
the first 45 days of the 180 days. Here's the bottom line. I'm going to look you right in the eye, folks. It's tax fraud. You can't do that. The government is going to be all over you. I don't care what anybody tells you. There's no extensions. They're just messing with your head. The bottom line is, if you want to be compliant with the federal government and the Franchise Tax Board, and believe me, they're looking for people like that. The state is looking at every return on a 1031 exchange now. You really need to be ahead of the game. And when you list, Joseph, just make sure, Jim, just make sure that maybe they need an extra 30 days, an extension or something to escrow, where there could be some kind of contingency or something to make sure they don't close, so they find that right replacement property. Because the key to any 1031 exchange is playing a harmonica. No, the key to any 1031 exchange is finding the up leg, is knowing what you're going to buy.
So Phil, what you done is on the fence on tax fraud.
Tax fraud is not a good
How do we get a hold of you?
213-479-8800 or philatwan@gmail.com.
I use Phil for my apartment transactions. Does a great job, but better than Phil, he's got a great staff, which is a lot better than he is. So great
That's the
staff.
truth. They make ugly guy like me look good.
Absolutely, which isn't easy. And next we have Chris Miller. Chris, we recently sent him a client that has 24 units in Montebello, and Chris is going through the portfolio of different properties, trying to find one that's good for them. So, what's going on in the world of DSTs and uplegs and all kinds of commercial properties?
Well, what I do basically is I focus on partial interests for 1031 exchanges, offering clients' replacement properties for their exchanges they're doing with Phil. And what we've really started to focus on a lot are either apartments or net leased single tenant retail properties. I've found over my 18 years in the business that these are really the best for investors because they don't tend to take huge cash inlays like your local mall does, for example. And we're able, if we buy right in good growing metropolitan areas, and with the retail properties we buy with good solid tenants, we can set ourselves up pretty well for some nice reliable cash flow and some appreciation potential in the future.
Excellent. I talked to a client just the other day that 15 years ago sold his apartment building on Ruoff in Whittier, bought an oil well, a share in an oil well in Texas, and just absolutely delighted. It was an incredible conversation. So thank you. And how do we get a hold of you, Chris?
You can call me toll free at 877-313-1868, or you can look at my website at chrismiller1031.com.
So if you don't want to pay Uncle Sam when you sell an apartment building, and you don't want to buy another apartment building, and you want something else we call mailbox management, Chris is the one for that. And then if you have tenants who have bad credit, or if you want to fix up your own credit because you barely survived the 2008 financial debacle, Dean is your man. What's going on, Dean?
Well, good morning. I'm Dean with Pacific West Credit. I guess I want to go over a myth. A lot of consumers out there don't use our services think if they pay off a credit card or a collection account that's past 4 years, 3 years, and they think it's going to go away once they pay it. It re-ages the account on the credit profile, and it's going to be on there for another 7 years. So I sent Lisa this morning a pay for deletion letter. And it's just a form letter. It's very basic, but it has teeth to it. You're telling the collection company, I'll pay you, but only if you delete this from my credit profile. I'm either acknowledging this a debt, but if you don't accept my letter, then I'm going to ask for a debt validation letter, meaning that collection company has to provide you original documents from the furnisher. That's important to know because consumers think they can pay a debt and it's a zero balance, but it actually hurts your credit, not help.
Huh.
And then last week, at the Senior Vice President of Security for Equifax was sentenced for insider trading, and he shorted the stock before the 147 million people, the data was breached. He knew about it, shorted the stock, he made $70,000. He got busted by the SEC, he's under house arrest and convicted felon. So that's pretty interesting. The consultation with our company is always free. It's Dean Tapey. We are licensed with the Department of Justice. My cell number is 714-323-5538.
So I was thinking if you have a tenant that you have to turn away or manager has to turn away because of bad credit, rather than just saying no, you could send the Dean, and then after Dean gives you the green light, you could reconsider them as far as a tenant. There may be more vacancies coming up as the market turns, so we may have to be a little bit more selective or less selective in the tenants that we have. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you want apartment insurance advice or a review of your insurance policies, Richard will do that for you. If you want someone to take a professional look at your apartment building and find out what kind of repairs you can avoid by doing some good maintenance, Ken is the guy. If you want to sell your apartment building and avoid paying Uncle Sam or Jerry Brown, Phil is your guy. If you don't want to buy another property or pay Uncle Sam and you want to do mailbox management, get income 5, 7, 9, 8%, Chris is your guy. And if you have tenants that you want to have in your property but they have bad credit, Dean is your guy. And if you want to list or sell your apartment building, I'm your guy. Thanks for watching.